All right, let's go for those two. Let's see if I can do it with one hand. Good morning, everybody. Come join me today because I'm gonna tackle that cactus tree, which right now is the only tree I can mess with because that serves no purpose other than just for look, and them suckers will keep on growing. Now, it's been a long while since I've been outside doing something in the yard, and it's a beautiful day today. This shed's got to get organized. That's BB's project for the plant thing. She's making a pot and plant design. I know I'm gonna have to retill where I planted the gandula tree because I doubt they made it. Got my garbage bags, and I gotta find my leather gloves because they have thorns in them. And this got to get organized because there could be snakes in here because they need a place to hide. Like we had a snake over there one time. So if you live in Florida and you got a shed, be careful where you grab, because you can either have mice or snakes. All right, let me get this and then we'll get that going over there. But yeah, been hibernating inside other than going out and stuff. Been hibernating on this yard, not really much to cut grass. But this is one tree we can get started on early, like I said, because it won't die. This thing will keep on growing, and I want to try to get all that stuff up from the ground. Oop, I forgot my rake. And what happens is with those cactuses, anyone who ever has cactuses, you'll know that once they touch the ground, like you've seen during the hurricane thing, they'll start growing right from there because they're so full of water. And they'll reroot themselves. Ooh, that didn't sound... I'm scared to even go in this one here. I'm scared to lift up anything, to be honest with you. I am. Because like I said, there was a snake out there one time. I think it was a non-poisonous snake, but like I said, with cactuses, they don't stop growing. Come on. So might as well tackle them now before spring comes around, because then I'll be pulling them from the ground. And right now they don't have that many thorns on them. Still wear my leather gloves. I remember my mother had the cactuses in the ground. They were the flat ones, and she had me pull them, and it felt like there was a million of them. There might have been 1,000 of them, but there was a million of them. Didn't pull. And you got to dig real deep, because if you don't get the roots out, cactuses, they still grow. But she had this one as a baby, and this is what it looks like now. And what I've learned about this one, it's easy to trim. It's all about snapping. But like I mentioned in my other videos, people were picking these flowers here and boiling them and eating them. It popped up on a cooking video. But all those little baby ones down there, they'll eventually get into the ground, and then we'll be right back where we started from. And right now, again, they don't have that much thorns on them, so you can pick them by your hand, but I'm not going to pick them up bare-handed. All right, so you see what it looks like now, guys? Let me get my gloves and get to snapping. Always check your gloves out so that there's no spiders. But basically, if you see where they connect at, that's basically what I'm going to be doing, is just snapping them. So that's it. Real simple process. Again, this tree serves no purpose other than just for looking. That's all it does. And you can see how watery it is. Like I said, these things will survive and keep growing. So this is one thing we definitely can start clearing out. So instead of boring you guys, you already seen what it looks like before, and I'm gonna start getting to work on it, and then I'll show you the results after. One bag down, many more to go. But you don't want to fill them too much because these suckers can get heavy. But I am literally taking it down. Like, even if I see it that color, I'm just gonna keep taking it down as low as I can, because again, I have to weed eat around this, and I want to make it accessible to get underneath it. But I mean, this this is gonna be long. Man, I'm looking about 20-30 bags probably here of cactus, and that's not even including what's on the ground. The birds are out singing. Beautiful sounds of Florida. I'm breaking my way through. Some of these I got to cut with a machete. If I find any of these flower things in between them, I'm swiping them off. Like, if this is good here, I'll make sure I put this in the garbage, because again, these are sprout cactuses. If you remember in the hurricane, I cleaned this thing down big time because of the hurricane. And she slanted too. She had leaned over, but we just let it grow like that. But I'm getting there. I am getting there. That's what it looks like, guys. Now I gotta do 4 garbage bags. I gotta rake these little flower pots. I do want to show you what they look like. I'll show you the different phases that they go through. And there is needles on there because I'm getting them on my thing. The ants are coming to them in the ground. But these are the different phases that they go through. And then when the flower pops out of there, this becomes a leaf like that. And these things, I promise you, they're big. They're like dinosaur kind of things. And then they turn to this here. They turn red. It feels like almost like a fruit or something. I think maybe that's why people boil them while they're in the flower stages. But that's, and then when they want to become a cactus leaf, you see the different formations that they take. So they take these weird formations, like a flowery, a green thing that's hard with the flower falling out, the flower phase. And again, these are seeds. So all these I gotta rake, because these are all seeds here, and they will grow. I mean, I can cut the grass or whatever, but once the roots settle in, it's just a continuous. And just say you got kids or something, or you're around here barefoot or something, it'll be wreaking havoc, because it'll be all thing. And these are, like I said, are a pain in the butt to get rid of. Once they're in the ground and they've rooted, you could pull a root, and if there's a piece of root in the ground, oh no, it is over with. But all right, let me just start raking. That's what it looks like. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm able to get underneath it with the weed eater, so that's not that bad. Okay, the reason I use that plastic rake like that, because that's more like of a comb. Usually you use that when you rake leaves, and I'm trying to get all those little things. And I'm gonna do, I mean, after I get this all up here, I am gonna do a walk around and pick up any flowers or pieces that I see there. But someone ever told me that a city boy is gonna come to Florida and do some gardening or farming. I don't know if I ever move here. 90% of people that move to Florida that leave and can't make it is because of the income pay when when they see how much they were making up there and they come down here and they're making less money. The other 5% that leave Florida is because they don't want to cut their grass, tend their lawns, you know, or grow avocado trees. They don't care about this here. So trust me, there is a percentage of city people that do leave Florida because they'll hire somebody, but then if you can't afford to hire someone or you don't have kids to help you cut grass, this is where you're stuck with doing it yourself. But like I said, there is a 5% of people that don't like Florida and they'll move out of Florida because they're just used to concrete and tar. So, and like I said, if someone ever told me when I went to Puerto Rico I was going to be farming out there on my vacations, or moved to Florida and was doing, like we had my mother's banana farm, if I was going to be doing semi-farming or gardening, I thought gardening was different because, again, you had the winter, so you never had to do nothing. It was only in the summer you grew your tomatoes and peppers, but now you're getting into bananas and oranges. But anyway, I got this all cleared out. Like I said, I'm going to dump all that, scoop all that, walk around and see if there's any pieces. And then that's it. This was a job for Paco, boy. So I got it all cleaned out the best that I can. Now I throw these bags away. But this was a Paco job. Like I said, by March, end of March, middle of March, I'll be getting ready to tear those bananas down. There are some good lemons up there. I should go there and I should go pick a couple. Let me go get my thing real quick. Let me bring this back and then go get my thing and pick. I figured out why all these leaves are brown. It's because you could see right there the darkness and goes into black. These are all dead stems. Yep. See it right there? See how black it is? And then it goes into the lighter. This is dead from this point out. Yep, see that whole branch there, that little one? Yep, you see that little one, how it starts brown in there? Now the question is will this tree survive? That's gonna be the question, because it's starting to fall back into the tree, the darkness. That's why all these trees, these leaves are brown. They're dead. All those little branches that those leaves grew out are literally, look at that. That goes right into the X, all three, and then it goes down there and it looks like it's starting down there. It's trying to work its way back into the tree. So the only way this tree will survive is that it has to start producing new branches, or this branch here, it would have to start producing branches out here. But no, this tree literally on the tips is dead. Yep, that's why that tree is not brown, because those tips are not turning brown. Those tips survived because, I don't know, could be the age, could be the thickness, but yeah, this tree on the outside is dead as far as the outside part. Now the main root, I don't know. Well, only time will tell from watering. But yeah, that's gonna be a lot of snipping. Well that I got my trusty tool that I did a review on, most amazingest tool in the world to pick fruit. There are some fruits up there that are ready. And instead of them dying and going into the ground like those, this is lemons. So let me start picking up all those lemons and see if I can use them. And you can see this tree did good. The only thing that's killing this tree here is those little moths. Got to clean this tree of the moss. That's what strangles the tree, but it did survive. All right, let's get picking. All right, let's go for those two. Let's see if I can do it with one hand. It's hard to do it with one hand, but Ooh, we got one. Let's see what it looks like. And then the rest I'm gonna do. Oh, that looks pretty good. All right, I'm gonna do the rest and then I'll show you what I picked. Well, I was able to shake the tree and knock the rest down. But in Puerto Rico, let me tell you something. This thing, see that little cut there? That thing is killing me. These things have, the oranges and the lemons, they have pine stickies. Trees grow bigger in Puerto Rico and more spread apart. And my uncle used to make us climb that shit and shake a branch in Puerto Rico when we were young. That was like literally the only way. Or they would get a stick, they would make a stick that would push on the branch or something. And we would have to, if you've seen the Puerto Rico videos, the mountain would go straight down. And if you let those oranges or lemons pass you, or a coconut, when they cut the coconut and that coconut's coming down, could kill you. If you let that coconut or orange pass you, guess where you're walking? You're walking all the way down to the bottom of that hill. And if you've seen our Puerto Rico videos, you'd see the hills we're talking about. So I'm gonna pick all these up. The bad ones are gonna go to the compost, and the good ones, we're gonna make some lemon water. All right, this is gonna, everything bad is gonna go to the compost. This is compost ready for, that's gonna be helping out the gandules. I'm gonna mix that up when I start replanting those. This could probably be another year and a half. That will be by the end of the year, that compost over there. And she'll probably use that for the avocados if they survive. Let me tell you a story as I'm sorting through these lemons out and stuff. In Puerto Rico, when I used to go on vacation, I used to go 2 weeks for Christmas. It would be Christmas and New Year's till the 7th, because we would celebrate Three Kings Day. Summertime for 2 months. I would spend my whole summers growing up, my whole life growing up. Easter, we'd be out there for a week. Thanksgiving, we'd be out there for a week. And I think that was it. That was my whole life. Like I almost spent like half my life in Puerto Rico and the other half growing up in Jersey. Well, there was a rule in my uncle's house. All right. We stood at my grandmother's house and stuff. Never had to do nothing. Grandma love you. She'll cook for you. She'll let you do whatever you want. Be lazy. It don't matter. That's where some of my cousins, my aunt's cousins, would hang out at my grandma, because grandma wouldn't let you do what my uncles do. To stay over at my other uncle's house, who lived up in the mountain, my cousin Junior, you seen his farm, he had rules to stay in his house. Don't matter if you're on vacation, because I used to be like, man, I'm on vacation. Don't matter. He said, if you want to sleep in this house and you want to eat, you got to go to work. I remember every morning. So then I stopped going over to my cousin's house because I didn't want to. I didn't want to work. I would pick and choose the days. But he would shoot his little gun in the morning, screaming in English, because he was born and raised in Puerto Rico, but he moved to New York. And that's where my cousins were born, and then they moved back to Puerto Rico. He would scream in English and shoot the thing. If you want to eat, you got to work. If you want to sleep, you got to work. And he used to send us out every morning at 6 a.m. with a machete to cut a hill. And if you've seen my mom's house, and I showed you everything in our videos, you see the mountain we were talking about. Just remember, just machete and a stick. This was before weed eaters, before anything. Picking oranges, climbing trees, catching coconuts falling that can kill you. I don't know if this is good from the freeze or not. It feels good. Just, you know, and then the days I would stay with my grandmother's, I used to just watch my cousin going down there. And I used to laugh like, golly. Because my two cousins would have to go there every morning to clean my mother's finca. Picking coffee beans. Just everything. So, if I thought I'd be doing this in Jersey, you got, but there are not that many lemons. I mean, some of them could have been good, but I feel like they're a little bit smushy on the inside, but that can be for compost. I think that's good enough for me. I think this could be from the frost. And they do have a weird growing like that. Like they're not flat round. They're still good, but I don't know why they do that. It could be the tree may be sick, but it's still a good lemon. I'll just check this one out here. But this just reminded me of that it's just funny how my uncle used to say that stuff. And I used to hate it. I used to hate staying there. I would try not, my cousin would be mad and sad because I wouldn't stay at his house. I would always stay at my grandma's where my other cousins would hang out. Because their parents, they didn't care if they went out there with the machete. Because grandma would spoil them, but just had me thinking about that. Well, guys, thank you for joining me. I don't want to keep this video long. Got some lemons. We got the cactus cleaned out. Now I'm learning that all the fingers or all the tips of that are dead. That has to grow new branch if it survives. Because I hope it goes into the fight mode. We should be getting rain. I did water it the other day. And now I know why that's not brown, because those tips are better and stronger. And that's why it's not fully brown. You might have one or two that are dark brown, but it's crazy. So until the next one, guys, take care and see ya.